Yeah.
is if you, the first 5 minutes of the class, you have the students get up and do an introduction to it.
Oh, yeah, we can totally do that.
Or, I know like putting up like you've done before, where you
Yeah.
put like today's date is,
Oh, yeah.
and you have to figure all that out.
Gotcha.
And then everyone, I know some of us don't like getting up because it's
Yeah, other one maybe.
embarrassing ourselves or anything
Yeah.
like that, but by making us use it, we retain it more.
Yeah, absolutely, we can totally do that, if you want to start tonight then. So, this one right here is a little more in line with what we're gonna work on tonight in our intermediate hour, okay? So it's not basic level stuff. This is geared toward our intermediate hour. But we're still gonna go through it together and kind of look at what's happening with these words, okay? So, a gunny, Dojushkina. Shio. Shio. Yo. What's it mean?
Hello.
Hello. No? No, Zoplastic. Zoplastic, like explanation.
I don't know my syllabary as much as I should.
It's all good. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's an R with a fancy tail.
So it's not A?
It is A. It is A. Uh-huh. A.
A.
Mine's a little funky.
A.
A-Z. Do-yo, A-Z. Do-yo, do-use. Mom. Mom. Not my mom, right? Now who am I talking to though? I'm talking to my mom, right? So we have Agidzi that we're more familiar with. This one, Adzi. Adzi. Now we're calling to her or talking directly at her, right? We're talking to her. That's why it's an A and not an Agi. If I was looking at my mom and I said Agidzi, I'm saying literally, my mom, and I'm just staring at her, you know? So this is what we use when we're talking to her, Adzi, right? So, show Adzi. Come on, Ayusha. Do. Doggy? Za. Dum. I heard that. Lay, lay. Don't a dun, lay, lay. Let's keep going.
Go.
Go.
E.
Ga. Don't a dun, lay, lay. Go, we got. Don't use.
There's a question mark on the side.
Oh, so done.
And it's actually the question that's the sentence that's under.
Come on, oh stop. Come on. So, our question marker here, where is it?
It's actually on the go class, but we don't have it up there.
Hadid.
No, it's not.
This one right here.
Doe.
Doe. So that actually comes from a longer form of this version, and they still use that out in Oklahoma. It's gado, gado. But doe here, it's more of your just what. What? That's your what question mark. Does that make sense? Okay. Then, who am I talking to? You, right? Or in this case,
Mom.
my mom, right? Do, za, da, ne, le. What does that sound like? What if I said it in a different context and I said, Hadi is what?
I mean, what?
So, what if I said,
What are you doing?
What were you doing?
What were you doing?
What were you doing?
Joey got is today.
Right, right. So Now, this is where it gets a little funky and what we're gonna kind of start talking about in our intermediate hour. So, za, da, ne, le. Za, da, ne, le. What set is that? Set A or set B?
B.
Yeah, B. Well, here specifically B. So you might have learned this already. It's the agiza'u, right? When a word ends with a lay, or gay, or shay, any kind of A right here, that in itself is a time marker. But it's a little bit different of a time marker. It's not a, how am I saying this? This is what we call an unreported past marker. Unreported, right? We have reported past, we have unreported past. Reported past, I want you to think of a reporter is there, and I definitely know for sure that that happened. I know it happened for sure. Unreported, it might have happened. I don't know. I heard it might have happened. Does that make sense? So, your reported past ends in an always. Why does it end in Well, the way I got this to stick in my head, your reported past, means yes, yes it happened. Your reported past ends in an because it happened. Your unreported past, like here, it ends in an A. And I'm like, it might have happened. Maybe it did, you know? Does that make any sense? Okay. So, why is it phrased like this? Well, it's a past because that right there is telling me that it's in that past tense, almost. When we talk about past tense, not all the time, but when it's coupled with a this, an a, or an that pronominal prefix being in set B is a good indication that I'm talking about the past. We'll go over that later. It's kind of complicated, but when we get to that past part, we'll really hit on it. But I'm asking in this form because A, I don't know what she did. That's why I'm asking. Go to Donna Lay, go you got. Now go we got today, but this is like I'm seeing her later in the evening. So what did you do today? Does that make any sense? Okay, so hello Mom. What did you do today? Making sense? Oh, stop. Let's keep going. We're here. D. Ah. Da.
No.
La. Dee-da-na-na. Dee-da-na-na. Anybody ever heard that before? Do-yi-li. Do-yi-li. Dee-da-na-na. What's it mean? Dee-da-na-na. The store. The store. The store. Okay? Let's keep going.
So that's the subject.
Yes, that's your subject, right? Your important part comes first. So, what's coming next? The action, right? The action. So, let's look at this. Wa. Wa. Oh wait, hang on. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's the wrong syllable. Should look like this. My bad.
No.
Hmm?
Is that supposed to be no?
No.
It's not.
Way.
There you go. Walkway. And then do. And then
That's the, no,
lum. Lum.
that's what.
Remember your new has the,
the.
exactly.
Lou.
So, walkway, do, lum. Well, who am I talking about here? Where's my person marker? Huh? No, where's my person marker? Close. Way. And more specifically, that AGW, right? AGW. So, what's that W doing there? Anybody know?
That is there because sometimes it'll be a Y or a W.
Depends. In what context?
I don't know, that's all I know.
Okay. So this one is here, the W is here, because it's adding distance. It's adding distance, okay? And that do lum, when is it?
The past.
Right? And it's which one? Is it reported or is it unreported?
It's reported.
It's reported. Why?
Because of the,
Because of the right? It happened, and I know it, right? Okay. So, walkway, do, lum. Let's look at that word. Walkway, do, lum. If I were to change that into a set A noun, and I were to make it a present tense, or sorry, a set A verb, present tense, I would say, Gado ha. Gado ha. What does that mean?
You're walking?
Kinda, yeah. Or I'm here. I'm here and I'm being here. Like I'm walking around, I'm up and moving, right? So, that do right there is the root of your word. That do is the being somewhere. Okay? So, who's being there? I am. Where? Over there somewhere. When? In the past. Does that make any sense? Kinda, sorta? Okay, so, I was walking around in the past, or I went there. I went to the store. Let's keep going.
no leg,
No leg. W, no leg. And, what's next? Qua, in this case, sorry, I forgot to come up with thing. It's a qua. Qualu. Close. She. Qualushi. Qualushi. What's that mean? Grapes. 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 I'm gonna get my chair for this. I start writing something when I get too low on the board. Okay. All right. What?
don't pay attention to her, she's talking to herself.
Oh. I thought she said it.
No, she didn't. What is the question?
What is that word?
Doggy,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Dakiwashkun. Dakiwashkun. Have an idea? Uh-huh.
I don't know, something in the past.
Exactly. It's in the past. Reported past, right? Because it's got that on the end. Who's doing it first off?
I am.
Where do you see that?
You're doing it repetitively.
Close. Close.
Plural.
So this right here, if you look at your syllabary, it's a doggy, right?
Is your dog backwards?
It is. I do that all the time.
Because I was,
My bad.
And then you
Still said it.
Maybe I need to get checked. My bad.
you were just, I was going on with her. I was checking, this is confusing. She's not
All right.
that dog, that's not dog.
Y'all need to go sit down somewhere before I have a problem. I don't want to have a problem. All right, so doggy, right? Doggy, oggy. It might sound like a key, but that's still that G character, right? So that A and K is part of that oggy. Oggy, right? Oggy meaning me, right?
You're talking about yourself.
So that right there, that's not a distance marker in this case.
It makes it plural.
It makes it plural. So, da, he. I did multiple of something in the past. Your wa and your s, for all intents and purposes, is the buying root. For buying. So, I bought multiple in the past. Or I bought. Now, the interesting thing here is we don't pluralize the grape part. We never pluralize our fruits and our vegetables and our food for the most part. That will stay a singular form. But now we know that D is there. I bought more than one grape. Or just I bought them. I bought them. Now, let's keep going. See, look, I bought it. I put it right there. I don't understand. Oh, stop. Oh, stop.
Good.
Uh-huh.
Is that yay or no?
Yay.
Yayla?
Uh-huh. Geeky. Yep, that's it. Geeky. What's this part? Akiela. What does that mean? Close. Real close. Huh?
Yeah, it's in the past. Me, I did it.
Kinda. Kinda.
Yay, what is the yay?
Yeah.
Yay part of
I
it.
was happy in the past.
Alright, so this one right here, you're really close actually. You're really close, really close. Akiela, I feel it. I feel. Okay? So good. I feel. Or I like. I feel good about it. Or when you put these two together, it turns it into an I like. Does that make sense? And then agigisti. That's a newer word. Agigisti. So every now and then, if you're here early enough, you'll catch me talking to the girls at the table, and I'll say, "Do you use the dooley zagisti?"
That's tomato.
ID is not a fruit. Now, let's take a look at the ending part of this word. That's C right there, right? It's not an ah, it's not an it's not an a, it's not a e, it's a st. When you see that, for the most part, this takes it out of time. This is what we call an infinitive word. Infinitive meaning it's out of time now. It's not an I did something, it's not an I will do something, it's a for it to happen or a tool to use to make something happen. Does that make sense? So, your infinitive words, think of them like for me to blank, for me to run, for me to swim, for me to go somewhere, for me to, in this case, eat. For me to eat. That D right there is the eat root. Now, when you come across these infinitive words, not all the time, but like 8 times out of 10, they're gonna be in set B form. Okay? So your reported past and your infinitive words, yes.
Is this D makes it the infinitive word?
Exactly.
Every infinitive word ends that way.
Not all the time, don't quote me on that, because some of them are dosties, and that makes it a tool to do the thing. Like adi, todi, it's an infinitive word because it's not in time, but it's something for me to use to, you know, like a spoon. Does that make sense? Okay. So, the agi and the agua, that is what represents your, where was it on? Okay, so when you get to this infinitive form, or that reported past form, 8 times out of 10, we go from using set A to set B. Does that make sense? Now, not all the time does that happen. It doesn't happen with words like agiyoshiha, because we started out in set B, right? There's no change there. But zigowatiha can become agigowatishkun. Well, yeah, agigowatishkun. It's seen me versus I see it. That make sense? It's kind of funky. Some of those transitive words, that happens too. So, don't quote me on that. Like I said, around 8 times out of 10, if we start talking about going from the present to the reported past to the infinitive, that's where the changes come, and we start using set B versus set A. So your present tense, your habitual, and your future tense all use set A. Again, like 8 times out of 10, depending on the word that you're using. So like gadawoa becomes aguadawo. And then it becomes, in your future, dagadowoshki, or dagadowoshi, I think it is. And then here, habitual tense, it's gadawoshko. But when we get back to this one, to your infinitive, it'll be agwadowosti. Does that make sense? That's where the changes go from set A to set B. Is that
So
kind of
say
clear?
that again.
Okay.
The future tense, the habitual tense,
Okay, so your present tense,
the present tense,
your future tense, and your infinitive,
infinitive.
yes, those 8 times out of 10 will be set A verbs.
Okay.
Your reported past and your infinitive, wait, I said that wrong. Habitual, my bad. It was present tense, future, habitual. Those are set A. Your other two, your past and infinitive, set B. Does that make sense? So I kind of wanted to touch a little bit on that when we go into our intermediate class. But anyway, this right here became not me eating, for me to eat. So, I like for me to eat grapes. And that's why I bought them. Does that make sense? So there's a little grammatical, thing for how these words are starting to break down. Because I kind of want to get to where we're talking more conversationally in our intermediate hour. But I think it's a good time to start reviewing some of these words for when we do our beginner hour. Cool? So, anything that you feel like we need to touch base on again? I'm trying to remember if we ever went over colors. Colors.
You did some?
We did some of them? Okay, cool. So I know we can do the days of the week. We've got the months covered. We've got numbers covered for sure. You've got your name is, how to get to your birthdays. What's up?
Real quick,
Yeah.
you say the word month.
Month? Decolumn. Decolumn. Yeah, I can write it there. And then for that, I'm gonna do trying to remember that word. Pseudodequat today or all day? Okay? Pseudodequat. Does that make sense? Because I feel like, if I remember correctly, this one is a day. And then the next. I'm trying to remember if I've got that right. Leishy, if I wanted to say a day, would I use pseudodequat? Leishy, would I say pseudodequat for a day? And then zoomdodequat for a week. I'm like 85% sure. I'm gonna do some studying up on this again, because honestly, I feel like that's gotta be right. That's gotta be right. But I'll look into
So
it.
is that Zoom
So zoomdodequat.
knowledge
Uh-huh.
all day? Is that all day or all week?
That's, yeah, sorry, you're right. Wait, no. That's all day. There's your week. Shundodagwasti. Yeah. So there's your word for the month. There's for the day. This is an all-day thing. Like from the morning till the evening. Like you would use this one like as in like a certain day. Like don't use to go to what do you want to go, right? Versus like wa or way do hasty. Like she was gone all day. This is when you would use Zundodagwat. And like I said, that D is there, but they're gonna not pronounce that. Does that make sense? Okay. And then Shundodagwasti is a week. So Sho Shundodagwasti would become Sho is like next, Shundodagwast the week, Geshasti in the future. So not this week, next week. Does that make sense? Kind of, sort of? In the future, yeah. Or Sho Shundodagwastigation last week. Yeah. Does that make sense? Alicia, is that right? Zudodagwat, a day. Zudodagwat. Just any day. Does that make sense? One day. That would be all day. Zundodagwasti, right? Okay. That's where I had it. Yeah. And then Zundodagwat, that's just a day. Okay? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Oh, I was close. I'm getting there. Okay. So here's your book, the Cologne. Zundodagwat, a day. Zundodagwasti, all day long. And then Shundodagwast, or Shundodagwast, that's a week. Okay? Does that make sense? Oh, look at that. Easy breezy. Man. All right. Anything else you guys want to go over? Or review? Okay. So, here we go. Do use tia. Do use tia. What am I asking you first off?
What is it?
What is this? Right? Now, it's over there, right? Do use shkina.
What is that?
What is that?
Oh, what is that?
Now, God's son, where is it? Where is it? So, if this, for some reason, I can't see it, right? It's right there. And I say, Godson akwazeli digowelo doti. Godson akwazeli digowelo doti. Where is my writing utensil, right? Where's the thing that I write with? Does that make sense? Okay, so, now, I want you guys, you've got notes for days. I want you guys to come up with a few simple sentences, and you're going to say your sentence aloud, and then we're going to try to figure out what you're saying as a class. Cool?
Does it have to be more than like one word? Like,
So, yes, girl. So, I want you to use your notes. You've got your colors, you've got numbers, you've got some food in there, you've got all kinds of things. Write you out a couple of good sentences, and we're going to go one at a time, and you're going to say it aloud. Now, don't fear correction. That's how we learn. And it's totally okay if you mess up something, and you're kind of spotty when you're reading. Don't worry about that at all. We're not here to judge, we're here to learn, right? So, you get you guys a good couple of sentences, and I'm going to put some up behind this board, and we'll go from there, okay? Cool? You can use anything in your notebooks. Nothing is off limits. We've gone over some animals, we've gone over some food, we've gone over hungas and gatzas and doyus, all those.
Which district? Those, down here in Tennessee? Is she working?
I didn't see her. I don't see anybody who
All right. Anybody got one ready to go?
I did.
Let's hear it.
Hanga Zadati Shka.
Hanga Zadati Yishkan. Oh yeah. Anybody? You know it.
Did I say it right?
Huh?
Okay.
Yeah,
It sounded good.
it did. I love the confidence. I'm so excited. So, Hanga, what's that mean? Yeah.
You're always going to be your time. Sometimes you're cold.
Hanga Iwanila. That should spark some stuff. Hanga Iwanila. Remember that? If you want to. Or you can give them a hint.
No, that's the question.
So Hanga Zadeti Yishka. First off, oh, you're close.
I don't know.
You're close. You're close. So,
You're going to
Yes.
uh-huh.
18.
The date is,
Not yet. Hang on. Iakwa de tianda. So, itatanda sta. Zoshko hish. Iakwa de tianda. Hanga ita de tianda. Or hanga zade tianda.
You're close, you're like, yes.
Yes! What did you say, Yishka? Oh, that was it. Sorry, I heard. Duh, sorry, my bad. Yeah, so when is your birthday? My bad, my bad. When's your birthday? Hanga Zadeti Yishka. My bad. That was cool. Good job. Alright, anybody else got one? Oh,
He's sleepy and hungry, or hungry.
He's hungry.
and
Tired.
tired. Yes, that's it. Osna done. Osta. Anybody else?
Geshti. Yahan. Yan. Hayanta.
Yahanta?
I could be saying it wrong.
What do you mean?
Find it again. No. Hayan Anza. Hayan Anza. You argue with me all the time over it.
Say the first part again.
Geshti.
His feet is in the future, right?
Oh, let's get chased.
You're not cold.
That's it. It's not cold. It's not cold.
It's not.
Yes. Gasty. Yuyanza.
Yuyanza.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's why I couldn't say it right.
That's it.
Yuyanza.
Yuyanza. That's
You
it.
and I argue over cold all the time.
That's so cool. Alright, anybody else?
It took me a minute.
You have one?
I was saying it wrong, please.
Not yet. What about you, Deb?
Jagata. Zahasta. Jagata. Zahasta. Zaha. I may be pronouncing it. Zahasta.
Zagataha?
Zaga. No. Zahasta. Or is it supposed to be Zaga?
Let's see, hang on. So your first word.
Apple.
Shanta.
You have an apple?
Do you?
Do you
Yeah,
have
do you
an
have
apple?
an apple?
Oh, do you have an apple? Okay.
Yeah.
Zahash.
It would be
Zahash.
Zahashka. Or Zahashk.
Yeah, 'cause you're asking
Okay,
a
then you
question.
could just Zahask.
Yeah. Because that's the question part. That SK is your question, right?
Right.
Shankta.
Shanta.
Osnagam. Yeah, girl, that's it. You have one?
I know, Ivy Yoshino, Alicia, Galu.
Oh, you're hungry for her grandma's bread. That's what it sounded like. But I got it. Oh, stop. Hold on. No, you ela vou de rir de Guayna Shan'i. Dahuya.
Something, yeah, like, yeah.
Home. Something home.
Yeah, home. The Dequena, did you say Yellow Hill? Distance on it. So that's another thing, right? The D putting distance on things. Like Aguayna Shan, that's what I can use when I'm there at my house. But it can also be used Dequena Shan, I went, or Aguayna Shan, I went. Shalani, jacket, right? Oh, Stagiela, I like it.
You like it.
Or I feel good about it. Does that make sense? One, no. Uwodige, Yona, Ost, Uyela home, Nugatli. Uwodige Yona, Ost Uyelamo,
Brown bear.
a brown bear,
Good.
Uyelamo. Now
So
let's
that
say,
makes it like, what's the word I'm looking for?
habitual.
It's
Habitual, yes.
Habitually like,
Uh-huh. New Gockley. That might be a newer one for y'all. Okay, so this one, if we haven't been over it, remind me to go over Dotno. That's just our fruits. I feel like we have before, but we might not have used it. But New Gockley means blackberries.
I was gonna say something about
Yeah, it was some kind of berries.
brown bears. Always likes blackberries.
Uh-huh. The brown bear always likes blackberries. Oh, stop. What time are we at? Okay, cool. All right, so. Now, this is I tried to make it a good setup for how a Cherokee sentence would actually work, okay? Now, I could have mixed it around here a little bit. How would I have done that to make it more grammatically correct? If we know that it goes adjective, noun, then verb. Adjective.
You would have said, blackberries, individually like is still gonna be where it's at. I think you just invert the word blackberries into brown berries.
So I think it would have been Iwodegayon, because we're describing the bear, and then Nugakli Ostuyelohon.
See, now I would have thought you would have been put the blackberries, you individually likes the brown bear because you're speaking about the blackberries, the fact that the brown bear likes the blackberries.
Right.
To me, it makes more sense to put the blackberries first, but
And I
I
wanted
may not
to,
be right.
no, that's right, I wanted to kind of highlight that because this is where our English minds go, right? This is where they go all the time. You kind of have to get into not the English mindset, if that makes sense. So, in Cherokee, we love to have our verbs at the ends of our sentences. So 9 times out of 10, if you ask a speaker how to say brown bears always like blackberries, they're gonna say it like this. Does that make sense? And I mean, kind of to your English mind, it doesn't. Absolutely, it does not. Because this is how, when I was first learning, this is how I wanted to do everything. Just because I was still stuck in that English mindset.
oh, then can we not do that? Then we do that.
No, I mean, you can leave it. You can leave it. Just know that kind of when you start to make these sentences, this part right here
It's gonna always go last.
is going to go
Because the
last.
command or the verb or.
Exactly.
The action.
The action of the sentence always comes at the end. Does that make sense? Now, this one right here, I phrased it more like that, right? Because what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about Deb's jacket. I want you to know first off what
That it belongs to her.
that it belongs to her, right? So that's where this kind of comes in, because this is kind of a verb in of itself. But Deb Uzeli, right? Deb, it belongs to her, and the jacket. Os Agieli. This is the me liking it part. That's the information that I want you to know first, who I'm talking about,
And what you're talking about.
then what I'm talking about, and then what I'm doing with what I'm talking about. Does that make sense? Ooh. Alright. Any other questions on that kind of stuff so far? Not quite? Okay. Alright. So, we have about, what, 8 minutes left, something like that?
But if you're talking to somebody, if you were looking at me, you would leave off, you would just start with jacket.
Yeah, that would be changed. That's like she's talking to me about you and your
Right.
jacket.
So-
If she was telling you that she likes your jacket,
Then
it's gonna be different.
Yes, exactly. Do you want me to put that up here on the board too? Okay, so when we go from talking about somebody to talking directly to somebody, especially when you're talking about clothing or whatever, like you're gonna put possession on that article of clothing. Because if I'm talking to you and I say, gosh, Eleni, Ostagiela, well, okay, you like jackets? I'm not telling you that I like your jacket, right? Right. So, if this Udzeli is it belongs to, because the thing about jackets, yes, exactly. The thing about jackets is, with our jackets, 9 times out of 10, they're not gonna be personalized. Now, very few cases, you might find somebody who has done that, but it's not common at all, right? So Gosh Eleni is a standalone. Like I can say a guashana to mean whose dress? My dress, right? That agua at the front makes it mine. How am I gonna say yours? Zashana. And then Ushana, right? Well, Gashalani is a special case. We have to put that Zali on it for it belongs to somebody. So, how am I going to get there to make it not her jacket, but yours specifically? Za. So, Zazali Gashalani Osta Agielu. Yeah. Does that make sense? So, if I'm talking to you about your jacket, it's gonna be. Hang on. I changed that page. Zadzeli Gashalani Ost Agiet. And again, we're talking about your word order. So your description words come first, your adjectives, what describes the name, right? Well, here, Zadzeli, it belongs to you, right? That's what I want to get across to her, or to you specifically. It's yours. Well, what is yours? The jacket, right? The noun always comes in the middle, your most important part. And then, what am I doing with these? Does that make sense? What's the action that's taking place with your adjective and your noun? Well, I feel good about it, or I like it. Is that making sense? So, in Cherokee, it's a daily Hashalini, Osta Agielu. I like your jacket. Now, all my kids at the high school, they're always forever getting these backwards. Because they want to say Osta Agielu, it's a daily Hashalini. Right? Because that's how you phrase it in English. I like your jacket. But in Cherokee, adjectives come first, then the nouns, then the verbs, or your actions.
But whoever you're saying to is still gonna understand it either way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, absolutely. Like if I go up to Alicia and I say it that way, she's gonna understand me. Hopefully she'll
She'll
be
laugh
nice.
at you, but she'll understand.
Hopefully she'll be nice to me. But that's the thing about it. You kind of got to get yourself into that Cherokee mindset and police yourself when you go to make a statement. And it's kind of hard at first, and it's really, really scary, but it can be something that's overcame. And it can be something that we just have to get it together and keep using it every day.
You didn't sign up.
I did too. But yeah. So, how much time we got left? We good to go?
1 minute.
1 minute. We'll go ahead and break here. All right. I hope my live feed didn't overheat.